Hi. Welcome to Cherie's weight loss journey. I just been called out on my shit, right? I was sitting up here talking about, oh, what women need to change is they need to change, enabling bad behavior. And I had just confessed how uh, I was slandered by a Jehovah Witness, right? And a Jehovah Witness, I knew because I was there. I knew. I was a witness. I seen firsthand that, this man was, indulging in vices such as drinking, porn, and having, unusual relationships on the job. And when I was confronted in the 3D court, you know, I just wanted to shut it down and just walk away. Okay? However, um, I did put in a petition to God, just so that you know. I did put in a petition to God about the injustices. This is what I do want you to know. But on the 3D, on the 3D, right? This this same man, was able to um, join back into the Jehovah Witness as a sanctified man who divorced his wife for having cheated on him. Okay? So not only was he the cheater in the marriage, he cheated in the divorce, and then he cheated his way back into the Jehovah Witness community, and there's no telling what he has done there, because you know the devil works in mysterious ways, right? He became, kind of a male leader in that group. I wasn't really a part of it. I only attended when my daughter had asked me to come and show up, and I would, you know, but he was doing announcements, he was ushering, he was reading scriptures, you know, and if he, enjoyed cheating, he may appear, you know, as a decent person on one front, but then, behind the scenes, he could be a cheater. One who cheats and breaks the rules at will. Who knows when it happens, but it happens when the temptation occurs. Okay? And so that was one of the things that had was expressed to me by Saturn. Saturn was saying, okay, you are enabler, Cherie. You had enabled your ex-husband to get away with the slander. You had enabled your husband, as a result of getting away with the slander, was able to do whatever it was he wants, without any reproach. And I was like, well, damn. Well, damn. You know, and you've enabled him on several fronts, right? You enabled him from having to be responsible for paying child support, right? And even, in the last 2 years of your daughter's life, you enhanced his life when, you gave him custody of your child and paid him $650 a month that they were able to utilize in order to buy them a house, because of course they're going to need an additional room, because why? They have an extra kid. You know, they couldn't just get by with 2 bedrooms. They needed at least 3 bedrooms. And I was like, oh, wow, I mean, yes, on one hand, I thought I was being cool. I was getting along, going along to get along, right? But then on the other hand, if he had been like diabolical, right? If he had been diabolical, you know, he could have used his position, you know, to do all kinds of heathenistic debauchery. So yeah, I was like, wow, it's easy to slip into, and hindsight is 2020. Um, Especially when, emotions are involved, because the main thing that I was trying to protect was I was trying to protect my child. I wanted my child to love her father. I did not want her to ever feel like she had to choose between me or him. Right? And even if she didn't think of it in that terms, I did not want her to see her father accept what she sees with her own eyes. Okay? And so that's one of the things that, Saturn had talked to me about, because, I've been preaching that, we are the first people who witness misbehavior. We're the first people in the household who witnessed firsthand the bad behaviors, of the men in our household, in our environment. And a lot of times, we don't think that we're protecting them, but we're protecting, like our children, right? And it's like, okay, I was fortunate that, he didn't progress into wicked debauchery. Okay? He may, he may be the mild debauchery, heathenistic kind, He didn't succumb to it like some men do. Some men, when they're in those positions, we hear about them all the time. They're counseling, these women, and the next thing he's having affairs with them. Now, I'm not saying that didn't happen, and I'm not saying that it did happen. I'm just saying that there are some of these men, who cheat, in their position of being married, and don't feel like it's really cheating, especially if they feel like, they can, project the blame onto the woman, right? And we hear about different kinds of blame. Oh, she wasn't submissive enough, or she didn't clean the house right, or she wouldn't contribute to the finances, or she overspent, without permission. All kinds of stuff, that men will do, to try to shift the blame onto the woman, that justified him, going elsewhere and finding another woman, even before, he gets a divorce and leaves the one that he's with. Anyway, I just had to put that out there, you know, that I confess, I was, wrong for, enabling a situation without, uh, telling the truth. I omitted the truth. I let him say what he wanted to say. Basically, I was thinking I was going to protect my child, right? Now I know my child knows, that even if he does say that I'm a bad mother, she remembers the trips to Disney World. She remembers, the trips to Sea World. She remembers the trips to, you know, uh, California and, you know, and all of these places that I tried to take her, to make sure that she had a very fruitful and fulfilling childhood. The band, uh, the um, the cheerleading, all of those things. She knows, that I have done for her, and she's never said out of her mouth that I was a bad mother, except when I lost my mind, during a situation that had got really, really bad, right? Where I had came across, a Machiavelli, triad, borderline, voodoo, witch doctor, okay? And that was purely by accident, you know, uh, who would have knew? Who would have knew? Right? Everybody was in danger. I wish I could have told the whole neighborhood, hide your kids, hide your wives, because, you know, yeah, uh-huh, it was about to get dangerous. And a lot of people, they were affected by him for sure. He ran up and down the whole neighborhood. Anybody that would listen to him, fell under his charm. And they don't even know how he did it. So anyway, um, even when, I had observed him, right? I was in total regret, that I had introduced this guy, into my neighborhood. And, he had affiliated himself with just about every person on the block for, in a whole mile radius, right? Because he loved to walk around. He loved to walk around at all hours of the day and night and day. So, yeah, that was one thing I was like, oh my gosh, am I going to be blamed for the actions of this man? And I was really hoping that I would not, you know. Um, Several people in my neighborhood, they had seen that, I had called the police on him a couple of times, you know, but because of how he spoke to me, that, he had these problems of being an addict, of having, bipolar, and that he was always becoming unstable at some point, and he always needed help, you know, and for whatever reason, I fell victim to even helping him out, even at times when I knew I didn't want to help him out, because I have watched, how he squandered off money, you know, and it's like, yeah, you squandered off money, you know, like you're rich, and then you turn around and then you start, begging for money. That doesn't make any sense, And I contributed to him being an addict, him having mental illness. I even tried to take him to counseling. I tried to take him to AA, NA, and the next thing you know, I had truly found out what it was to be a codependent, right? And a codependent in the sense that, you are the enabler. You are the one that, you know, tries to save them more than they try to save themselves. Okay? And yeah, and and even he made me pay harshly for that, because he has spent numerous of times breaking into my house and stealing everything of value and pawning it like, I didn't work hard for my shit, you know, and a couple of times he had tried to intimidate me by, rolling up behind me and act like, I was supposed to feel any kind of way. I was like, I don't know why you rolling up behind me. We ain't got shit to talk about. So anyway, um, those were some of the things that, definitely needs to be closed out, you know, recorded, you know, with Metatron at this time. And, you know, to start this new chapter, because we're going into not only Sagittarius season, but 2025 is the year of the 9, which is the Sagittarius number, which is 9. And 9 is about expansion. We need to expand on our philosophy of how we're going to live the next, simulation going forward. Yes? Anyway, thank you for watching Cherie's Weight Loss Journey. And I hope that I clarify some of the reasons why some things need to be said. And even point out that, the harm that could happen, by not saying anything. Because, to the neighbors that I had still spoken with, I told them that, look, please, I don't want anything more to do with this reckless, Machiavelli triad borderline voodoo witch doctor. No, I didn't tell him that. But I did tell him, the ex, friend, uh, he's controlling. I don't want nothing to do with him. And please, even if he asks you, please don't tell him anything about me. And I had to ask and let them know that, me and this person, we we don't get along, and don't let him use you to try to get information about me. And you can maintain your friendship. I don't care, So anyway, at least that gave them an awareness that, you don't always have to feel the same way that another person feels about other people. However, sometimes, when that there's dissension between people, sometimes it might be wise to, to take a closer look at the person or at the people that are in conflict to see what's really going on. Because, a lot of times, like myself, I feel like, when I have a conflict, my conflict is between me and that person. But not everybody operates like that. You have people who will try to have people try to take sides and, conspire people against other people. And yeah, they performicate. Okay, they performicate their lies. Okay. So anyway, thank you for watching Cherie's Weight Loss Journey. Have a good day and happy simulations. Bye.